Like, we are standing up here, broken. Each one of us are cursed up here. We, each one of us, I look at myself. I'm like, look at me. I have done things, and I have said things, and I have all these things that I have so much natural guilt for. And I can just imagine you guys sitting out there. If you actually think, I started thinking about it because when I hear that Jesus took all the sins of the world upon him, I'm like, I can barely carry my own. Yeah. I can barely carry the guilt of the things that I've done. How much less can I carry anybody else's? Each one of us is walking around in here with things that are maybe that have pained us in the past, things that we've done, regrets that we live with, whatever it is. Every single one of us have those. Every single one of us have been put in that position. And that is what the curse, I realize, really is. For myself, at one point, I even just welcomed death. The curse was living with the guilt. The curse was living with the sin in my life. And every single one of us have gone through that. The older we are, the more mistakes we make. And even if we are young, I can tell you, many of us up here have to live with things that we've done. Or do we? This is where it stood out to me so much. This is why this message became so personal, so beautiful to me. Because yes, at one point we were all cursed. And maybe we still are in this room. But there's a way to break it. There is a way that this curse might be broken, that it might not have any power over us. And by God's grace, and only by Him, as it says here, it says Christ redeemed us from the curse. Amen? He redeemed us and became the curse for us. The problem is, though, okay, Christ never forces himself upon us. That's the thing. He says, hey, I have the solution. I have the key to break this curse, but are you going to come and ask me for it? Are you going to come and accept it from me? Because I can free you from this curse, but you have to come to me. I'm never going to force myself upon you. This burden, this weight, anything that you carry, you need to just lay it at my feet and you can be free. You can just come to me and put me first in your life and put aside the things that really don't matter and come to me. I was so touched. I was so blown away. But still in my mind and in my heart, I didn't feel like it was fair. Then an illustration came to me. This illustration came to me. It was, how many of you guys like stories? The illustration was that there was once a judge. He was a father. He had 2 children. How many of you guys are parents? Oh. Yeah. So, parents in the back, okay, right? So, how much do you guys love your children? Very much. How much do you love your boy, man? Too much. I see how much he loves his child when he's running around and everything. And I find it so awesome, you know. I look at Steve with Isaiah and Deborah with Isaiah. I see the love of a parent for their child. They want the best for him continually. Mike, I've been working with Mike probably the longest out of everybody, and he's the one who's taught me everything. But he's always brought up his daughter. He's always brought up his daughter, and he's always like, hey, like, I'm so proud of my girl, you know, this and this and this. And although he doesn't get to spend the most time with her, he still loves her ultimately. And so in this illustration, I see a judge, but he has 2 sons, actually. He has twins, okay, twin boys. But they couldn't be more different. Okay? These sons, as they're growing up, the father, he was an only father, and he's nurturing them, he's growing them, but from a young age, you could see the clear difference. They were both, growing up there too, but one of them at 2 years old, the terrible twos, one of them was really calm and kind and was always taking care of his brother. But the other one, oh man, that boy was like me. It was crazy. Okay? Running around everywhere. Literally, like my little brother, it really runs in the family, but my little brother, when he was 2, he'd be at a park and he'd run to a boy and he'd go, "Gah!" and like hook the kid. And then we'd be like, oh my gosh, the parents would come want to fight us. And we're like, hey, we're not responsible for it. Oh yeah, we are. But I can't control him, I'm going to try, And so my little brother was crazy, I was crazy, and this child, he was just like that. He would run around, he would break things, growing up, the father didn't exactly know what to do. He would discipline him, he would show him the right way, and the other son, he would always be going and picking up after the other brother. Okay? As they're growing up, you start getting into high school, and one of the brothers, let's call him Abe. Okay? Let's call him Abe, and let's call the other brother Jess. Okay? So Abe, just simple names. Abe, he was running around, he would get into fights all the time. Okay? He would get into fights all the time, and basically, Jess, he would go and he would try to stop the fights. He would go and he would be taking care of his brother when he got, but his brother ended up getting expelled out of multiple schools, and Jess would go and he'd follow his brother and be like, man, come on, man, you can do better. You can, but nah, it wasn't about that. When Abe turned 16, 17, he decided he was going to drop out of high school. He was like, you know what, I'm going to live my own life. I hate these rules that you have for me, Dad. And the dad was like, he'd literally done everything he could. He had so much love for his son, but he couldn't let him just go off and go crazy. He had to show him structure, but instead Abe was like, you know what, I'm out, I'm leaving. And Abe leaves the home. He goes and lives the life he wants to live. Whatever he thinks would make him happy, he goes and pursues it. He gets into debt. He gets into heartache. He gets into all these things, but it doesn't matter to him because he doesn't want to go back. He doesn't want to go back to the rules, the regulations. But meanwhile, Jess is at home helping his father, going to school, doing everything, helping those around him, leading outreaches, helping anybody he could see. But one day,